Okay, go. Hello everyone and welcome back to Espresso with Saul. Okay, today we are not testing out my Flux Raider, nor are we testing out my MCK that you guys saw last week. What we are going to do is we're going to test out some aftermarket magazines to see if we can make these even better. Now, let me start off by saying I'm not going to tell you that ProMag makes the best magazines out there. You know, a while back I would have said they're not very good at all, but I have noticed that not only are they coming out with the magazines that I'm looking for when factory magazines aren't exactly what I'm looking for, they're coming out with the products that I want, and I've noticed that they've actually been working. So let's see if this still holds true. Now, my Flux Raider worked flawlessly. MCK, not quite so much. We're really hoping that we can figure out the best setup for this to make this run better than it did. But what we really want to do right now is see how we can make the Flux Raider work with the ProMag 50 round drum magazine and the ProMag 32 round stick magazines. Now, while we're doing this, I'm not too worried about standard Remington green and white box ammo. I want to see, I'm killing two birds with one stone. I have Remington green and white box UMC jacketed hollow points, 115 grain, loaded in both of the 50 round drums. Then I also have one stick magazine loaded with the UMC full metal or jacketed hollow points. And we also have Sig Sauer Elite Performance 115 grain jacketed hollow points in one stick mag. And then to top it off, just to verify what I was telling you guys, I think it was last week, this Winchester full metal jacket did not seem to work very well at all. Now, I don't think it was the MCK. I think it had more to do with the shape of their full metal jacket. This is more of a flat nose. I want to see if what my thought process is correct. So, we're not only testing out the magazines to see if they'll work, but we're also testing them out with different hollow points. So if the magazines don't function perfectly, we're not going to throw that out and say, oh, these suck. It might actually be the ammo that we're choosing to test out also. Like I say, I want to try two things at once, so I'm not burning through hundreds and hundreds of ammo just to find out one thing when I can find out a couple. So let's step on over to the range. Let's see how this runs. See if these ProMag magazines actually work. Okay, I'm using both magazines, the 50 round drum and the 32 round stick, have the Remington green and white box UMC 115 grain jacketed hollow points. Hopefully, the magazines will run well. Let's find out, shall we? Well, I am very impressed with that magazine. And that was a lot of fun too. I'm very impressed with the way that drum magazine worked. Now, let's see how well the stick magazines work. Hopefully, it will work just fine, and we can test out the other ammo and see what we've got there too. All right. Interesting. That, not quite as good. Now it could be this magazine was extremely stiff. Let's see. Okay. 2 in a row. Once again, very stiff magazine. Will it work with just 30 rounds in it? I did cram the last 2 in there. Look at that. Okay. This stick magazine is not working very well. All right. Well, they might be trash. They might be back. Well, you know, I don't want to completely trash ProMag because this drum worked like a dream. But what the hell's going on here? All right. We have a single shot stick magazine. Now, I wonder now that's not even feeding. Okay. Now, is it because I tried putting the magazine in without the slide back? No, I don't think so. Okay. Are they all garbage? Or just this one? That is the question. Huh. Well, guys, this may be a much shorter video than what I had hoped for. Thought I had racked one in there, but apparently. Now, okay, I can't seem to get through a magazine at all with this stick. I'm going to try the next one. I'm just going to put this one up. Okay, not looking good. This in the ready to go is the Sig Sauer Elite Performance. This here on deck is the Federal 115 grain flat nosed hollow points. Not looking good, guys. Let's see if I can make this more than a single shot, shall we? Holy crap, we got through 2 rounds. Okay, well, this is not going to be near as fun as what I was hoping. Once again, I'm going to fire these individually for 3, 4, 5 rounds just to see if it has anything to do with the stiffness of the spring. All right. One thing about the Fluxrator, I wish that the magazine release were a little bit bigger. It's a little bit small for my big fat thumbs. Okay, one more time, one more round, and you know, sometimes it looks like the round is sticking out of the magazine enough that it will actually feed into the chamber, and then it doesn't. So really got to make sure it's in there and double check. Okay. All right. That does it. We're done with the Elite Performance, and I don't think it's the Elite Performance. I think it's the magazine itself. Now let's try out the Winchester that we're pretty confident isn't going to work either. All right, guys. One or two more, and yeah, this isn't going to work. All right. You know what I think I'm going to do? Since the 50-round drum worked like a dream, I'm going to go get the other one, and I'm actually going to put it in the MCK and see how that runs with the 50-round drum. You know, it's freshly lubed up, ready to go, so we don't want to make her sit there and wait. Okay, I have the other 50-round ProMag drum in my MCK. Can this one run as fluidly as the Fluxrator did? Let's find out. The answer is yes. I'm not sure what happened with that one round here. If it didn't seat forward properly, maybe I didn't pull the trigger all the way, but you know, for the most part, not bad. Not quite as good as with the Fluxrator, but not bad, not bad. I think I need to take this out more and just shoot it more and loosen it up and keep her well oiled. All right, let's talk about this up at the table, shall we? Okay, so now what? Well, the stick magazines, I'm going to fully load those up. I'm going to let them sit for the next 2 or 3 months, and I'm going to try them out again. And if they still don't work, I'm going to throw them in the garbage can. The 50-round drums, however, work fantastic. Very happy with those. Still haven't fully got the MCK to work perfectly, so I'll let you know on that front how we're doing, but I'm really happy with the way the drum magazines worked, and the stick magazines for ProMag seem to be more along the lines of the old ProMag than the new ProMag. So look, Let me know what kind of results you get in your handgun when you're trying aftermarket magazines, because, you know, I'd like to hear about what works and what doesn't. Hopefully I've saved you guys some money. If you have a P365, yeah, hold off on the 32s. I think the factory 21s, they're just fine. And wow, these drums are really cool, really cool. That should do it for today. Thank you for joining me with Espresso with Saul, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care now. Bye.